Good morning. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead about 20 minutes. And we'll get into that portion of it here. What was I looking for? What was I looking for here? I can't remember. I have no idea. Oh, it's such a damn good had a Thursday evening at the Bismarck Cancer Center fundraiser, and I laughed so hard. My stomach has like workout pains going on. It's awesome. Good morning, Waylon. Morning, Josh. Good stuff. Good stuff here. Brian Warner. Good morning, Brian. Good to have you guys all along here. I know it's early. Thanks for tuning into the early side of it. I just get on here so stations can do the audio levels, countdown, and all that good stuff. Oh. Well, the good news is it's going to start warming up now. Man, it got down. What was it last night? It got down to like, it was damn cold. I know that. 18? Yeah, Josh. I did. I finally got drawn as a landowner tag. So yeah, my wife too. Like we've been putting in for years and years and years and years, and now 13 years later, we finally get a landowner tag. So good stuff. She wanted to finish it like was it Tuesday night? She got home from work, and we walked north of the house up into the hayfield, and we kind of did a 2-mile walk and like figuring out like plans, right? Sometimes it's nice just to go for a walk. We got to the north side, or headed to the north side of the hayfield. There's 2 elk. There was a cow, and the elk up here haven't lost their antlers yet, so. And anyway, she's like, well, let's just shoot. I'm like, no, you got to wait till season. You got to wait till September. And she's like, oh, so she's jacked, man. She saw that cow elk. She's like, I just want a cow, be done. I said, well, they ate like from December to March 15th. We had over 60 some cow elk, and I'd say about an average of about 23, 24 bulls in my winter pasture where I was feeding my cows. And between feed, mineral, and liquid feed, I bet you they went over $5,000 they ate up on me easily. Okay. That I can measure right now. So the cow elk should taste pretty good. They were on liquid feed all winter. Cheers to you, ivermectin Saturday mornings. I don't like the taste of ivermectin, but I really don't like bullet bourbon. Ivermectin actually makes the bullet bourbon taste better. Why do I have bullet bourbon, you ask? Somebody gave it to me. Right? They're being nice. Good morning, One Shot Cap. Good morning, Dan Brown. Good morning to you too. Yeah, the cow elk should be good eating. The bulls didn't really. They went into my grain hay. I had some millet and forage barley I put up last year, and they got into that stuff, so they should be okay too. But these big bulls, if a guy's looking for like a trophy one or anything, they don't taste that good. They're really not that good. I mean, you got to pretty much make it all into hamburger anyway. So I'm fighting. I'm on the edge, right? So we have way more cow elk, and since it's a landowner tag, and I have the chance of getting drawn again in the future. I'm looking at maybe we need to thin out some of these cows. Right? I don't know. That's a tough one because I'm not a horn hunter. Don't get me wrong. There's a 400 class elk out here. I'm going to put the time into going after and getting it. I'm just the problems that we have are they're damaging the fences and they're eating my feed and mineral. So I don't know. Now the bulls, on the other hand, create a lot of havoc with my water tanks. That's for damn sure. Excuse me. So I don't know what I'm going to do. My focus is get my wife taken care of, get her cow tag done right away. And I know it's an any tag, but she wants to take a cow. She's going to get a cow. Right? That's she wants. She says, I want one good eating one. And the cows are probably going to be a lot better eating since I know they've been through a lot of mineral and a lot of feed all winter. But is that going to change by this fall? I don't know. Who knows? Right? Might get all sagebrushy on me. See, I'm kind of picky about the meat. Meat is say Josh, where do you find that in from? Where do you find the list? Let me know where you find the list on this side of things because I can't find it. Karen, good morning. Thanks for being ready on KOLY. Morning, Dave. Hope everything's my heifer's okay. No. I have after last night. So I have 8 total left in the pen. 4 are late breds. Okay, so they're going to get kicked out. They can calf in a pasture. All right, that's like June, July calving. I kept them because I had a lot of opens last year, so I just kept them. I have 4 left that will calve here in the next week. And just going for that. That is the plan anyway. What gun am I using for elk? Well, that depends. That's going to depending on what I have when I see the elk. So my hunting's a little bit different. I'm probably going to put a lot of days in going out and doing this, but it depends on the summer. If we have moisture and we get some hay, okay, it's going to be into that hay hauling side of things, helping some neighbors do some things. If it's dry, I'll put in a lot of time. Probably my 28 Nosler is probably going to be my go-to rifle. 28 Nosler for that. So, morning calf working day. Have a good show. Actually got the geriatric horse thrown bruised help. Okay, helping today chicken the broke horse. Not the new one. Oh man. Thanks, Jay. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bright and shiny. I'll get my geriatric horse out too. That is not that's feeling fresh. Fresh. Let's see what Kevin's number is here today. Yeah, 28 Nosler is going to. It popped up my Facebook news feed yesterday morning. I think I was in Jamestown newspaper that had it up. Not sure why. So it could be time. Yeah. Okay. So I know there's sometimes a link you can find, but if you go to the Game and Fish page, it's nearly impossible to find it here. I haven't researched it and looked through quick enough to see if it's there or not, but anyway, if anybody has that link, I'd like to know. I know my next door neighbor got one. I've had 6 calls already. So of people I have no idea. A lot of social media stuff. At least they're doing it early. That's what I do like. That's a hard number to go through here. That did not flow. But yeah.
Hello, you've reached Kevin Vaughn at Wild Walleye Outfitters. Leave your name and number and a short message.
Well, what the hell? I just checked the Jamestown Sun posted it 2 days ago on Facebook. Not sure where else to find it. Okay. Grand Forks Herald has it listed, but you have to buy a subscription. The hell with that. Morning, Alan. Was it Jamestown Sun? Okay. Let's see who this is. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Good morning. You're live on YouTube, too. You're on the pregame show.
All right. Well, good morning.
How's everything in Sturgis?
Well, a little chilly. Winds died down a little bit, but don't sound like too terrible much.
Oh, man. It at like midnight last night. I went out and checked heifers at about from midnight to the 2:30 check.
Yeah.
It went from like 30-mile-an-hour winds to 5-mile-an-hour winds. So I am excited to get out here and get my day going today.
Yeah, it's
fucking a week, a week of wind, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Enough of that.
I'm over it.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just the beginning of it. It seems like this year.
Oh yeah, and I think we're going to have a pretty wet year this year, just kind of the way it's starting anyway.
I hope you do, because if you have anybody you know down there that's got like 320 acres of hay ground that wants it, lease it to me so I can make some hay, because I think we're going to be dry this year up here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's looking very the signs of dryness is what it looks like right now.
Yeah,
because we haven't had the April showers that there's been some people having some moisture, but we have not in this area. So
no, we've been pretty lucky with the moisture aspect. We've been getting a lot of some wet, heavy snow the other day, and then last weekend there we got some pretty good rain. And during the week we got a couple good showers. So
good deal. Yeah, we're at the point here in Slope County as I think we could be put on a fire ban right now, a travel ban. That's how dry it is up here.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's starting to green. I mean, the grass is trying to pop a little bit, but we'll see here. Stations, 7 o'clock on the nose, 8 o'clock Central Time across the board, and that's coming up here very shortly. 7 o'clock, 7's on the nose here on Mark. The Mayor Mobridge says, since you didn't answer the first time on the phone, he says you're probably reeling in a big fish.
I am sitting at my office desk drinking coffee in my robe.
See, aren't you glad I don't do like everybody that does these podcasts? They have the cameras and the Zoom so they can see their guest.
Jeez, if you put my face on camera, you would lose a lot of followers. It's one of them faces only a mother could love, and that's if she was blind.
Shit. Well, you've been out on the water yet this spring?
Yeah, actually, I spent about 72 hours on the water last weekend, and,
nice.
And yeah, it was just a crazy good bite. Them fish are really starting to spawn, and the males are milking real aggressive, and it's a good solid bite.
Good. Well, shit, paddlefish season opening up pretty quick too in certain lakes that you have there. I mean, you guys, South Dakota's got 3 different seasons on them here.
You know, I'm not even sure.
I'll look that up when we get going here. Yeah.
For the first time ever, put in for a tag for one. I got a buddy that wants me to go down by the mouth of the White River and catch one with him. So we put in. We didn't get one, but we'll build some preference points.
Yeah. You got to go preference points on yours. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, we're getting ready. Next weekend, we got second annual series starting. So
you're going to do it again? I was going to ask if you're going to do that series again. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, we've got some really, really amazing trophies we had made in Rapid. There's some big metal trophies.
Cool.
Lynn's Dakota Mart sponsored our team a year. And then we had the Workus Transportation. They named one of the tournaments the Workus Circus Classic. And then we got Sanders Battle on Ormond. And then we start with the Casting Vets Cup on Angostura next weekend.
Nice. Well, you're going to repeat this when we start the program. So, but that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Another place you should contact for a sponsorship, Kamak Ranch Supply.
Yeah, I guess, I go by there all the time because I take 34 up to Pier and I go up to the still and race, and especially when I can't, you get up there kind of early and the bite's usually pretty good. And I drive by there all the time. I guess I just never really thought about it.
They're big into the outdoor side of things, man. They're just good folks over there. Really good folks. And I mean, it's a nice store too. So.
Oh yeah, I've been in there a few times, and yeah, it kind of makes kind of double take when you walk in there because you're not expecting it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know every time I go down to that Rounds Bull Sale, a lot of the guys from Kamak are up there, and geez, we sit and talk and BS, and I'll have all kinds of good stuff to talk about outdoors. I mean, they get in on some big deer down in that area. So
yeah,
good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, well, let's see. Some out-of-state investors bought the Full Throttle, I see. Last time I was down there eating. Not Full Throttle. Loud American. What's the one on Maine?
Yeah.
Not Maine.
No, not Loud American. The Knuckle.
The Knuckle. There you go. The Knuckle. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody local that owns a bar in town anymore, hardly.
Except for the Dungeon. Yeah, except for the Dungeon Bar. I know the owner of that one. That's it.
Okay, yeah. But I think all the big ones, that's 90% of Sturgis is owned by outside entities. That's, the rallies, 90% people bringing stuff in. It's very, very little is locally supported or whatever. There ain't many of the locals make much off the rally besides the city.
Yeah. Well, what you need to do is just sit out in front of your house with a cooler of beer and charge.
Well, then the city would come by, and for every dollar you made, they'd need 3 of them.
I suppose they got that figured out, don't they?
They'd throw you in jail for it.
Yeah.
Because how dare anybody else make a penny off your inconvenience but them?
I didn't know that Sturgis was started by guys that rode Indian motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, we got 30 seconds of showtime. Kevin, I'm going to turn you down. We're going to go quiet here, so stand by. Stations, 20 seconds to showtime. 20 seconds to showtime on mark. Good morning and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Good to have you along here this morning across the Dakota Territory on great radio stations like KGFX out of Pierre, South Dakota, KOLY Mobridge, K-Fire 550 Bismarck Mandan, North Dakota side, KCJB in Minot, North Dakota, and the Western Edge on KLTC. Good to have you along this morning. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, your host here for the next hour. 2 decades strong, going on the next one here, as long as they'll let me go on doing a little outdoors program, having a little fun here in the Dakota Territory. So we're going to be talking fishing, but Kevin Vaughn is my guest here, Wild Walleye Outfitters out of Sturgis, South Dakota, who's probably one of the biggest sponsors is Sturgis Jerky. I suppose you have a boat full of that stuff when you take clients out, Kevin?
Oh, try to keep a little bit in the boat. They get hungry once in a while.
That's I contacted the guy under new management and everything like that. And I was like, we should be giving that stuff away on my radio show on Saturday mornings, like shipping out some Sturgis jerky or anybody listening. If you have a meat processing place and you put jerky together, let's make a deal. All right, let's make a deal. But Kevin, good morning. How the heck you been, man?
I have been busy. It's been a cold, wet, warm everything kind of spring, and we've been on and off the ice. A good year coming off the ice that was real short-lived. It seemed like we got about a month of ice fishing, which was absolutely phenomenal up here on Ormond. I mean, it was just a great walleye bite and perch bite all winter long, but it didn't last very long, and we're back out in the boats, and it seems like things have already picked up and taken off running, and we're not slowing down anytime soon.
Let's talk about the ice fishing this winter. Open winter, right? It was one of the warmer winters that we've had here in the last handful of years. And how does that affect the ice on Ormond or any of those bigger bodies of water down in the Black Hills and even all the way through over to the river side of things?
For a lot of it, the bigger reservoirs in the Black Hills, a lot of them put ice on late and then it come off early. Some of the bigger lakes up in the higher elevations held that ice a lot longer as usual, Deerfield. But your smaller prairie lakes, they just, up until we were supposed to have a tournament in January, we ended up canceling that because there was just no ice. And then a week later, we hit a stretch of, what was it?
Oh, God, it was cold.
Below for 3 days. Yeah. And boom, we've got 16 inches of ice that we get to fish for a month. That one weekend of freezing temperatures put our month of ice on pretty much, and then it was gone again.
Yeah. That was a cold stretch. I think it was like a 10-day stretch of 30 to 40 below ambient temperatures. That was crazy, wasn't it? I mean, and but when did the ice actually get to the point where it wasn't safe anymore, where you were like, you know what, we gotta get our ice houses out of here?
I mean, what was it?
Mid-February, end of February, ready?
First couple weeks of February up there, they started pumping water into the lake and actually raising it up.
Oh. And
I believe it was the weekend of like the 16th or 17th. I was supposed to have a good sized group go out, and we went out the day before and tried to get wheelers and stuff on the ice with planks, and the edges just kept dropping through on us. So at that point, it wasn't worth it. And I heard of guys, getting on in a few spots here and there, and if you could get on, you could still fish it a little bit later. But about the 17th, 18th, somewhere in there, February is when we just called it, and it was just no longer feasible or safe to try and get people on.
It's one thing a guy doesn't think of, as an outfitter like yourself, how much, what do? You lost out on that big group of people. I mean, that's money out of your pocket when the weather doesn't help you cooperate with it, does it?
Yeah, that's a pretty good paycheck out of a guy's pocket. It's just, that's the ups and downs of fishing. That's Mother Nature for you. Every time you think you got something somewhat figured out, she comes up and just gives you a little slice of humble pie and says, well, think again, boys.
So you're in the same. So this is why, like, agriculture and outdoor stuff, especially like what you do for outfitting on fishing, see how well it goes together. You got the same worries and pains that we have, with drought years, wet years, open winters, all that kind of same thing. It's funny how they work together that way. But are you getting booked up for this spring and summertime here? Because I think it's going to be a good year for walleye fishing this year.
We are. We're starting to fill the book up pretty fast. I was running a sale book before May for 15% off, and that ran pretty good. We ended up filling a lot of calendar dates up for the later part of May up until the first part of June, and then even August and September we had a bunch of guys call and fill up some spots for later summer. So yeah, like I said, we're gearing up for that. And then, early May here, we're not just gearing up for the guiding, but we've got the Wild Walleye Outfitters Tournament Series again this year that we're putting on. And that starts next weekend down at Angostura. And so we've got at least, 3 3 good weekends of putting tournaments on, plus a couple tournaments that we've got fishing, and it's a busy running time of year for us.
Let's talk about Angostura. I've been on as a recreation side of things, but I've never fished Angostura. And it seems to me, it's a deeper type of body of water. Where do you go in Angostura? Where do people go to go check and finding walleye in that area?
A lot of it's just the time of year, depending on, super early where them fish are at, water temperatures, post-spawn, pre-spawn, they're out more on the ledges, on the flat, I guess, without kind of having an exact map in front of a guy. It's kind of hard to name points and reference spots.
Right.
But, mostly just watch your shelves, especially post-spawn as this water starts warming up. Find ledges and look for fish on them ledges. Pulling crankbaits, Lindy rigs, flats with fish moving across them flats, feeding. Trolling's going to probably be your best bet this time of year, covering ground. Them fish are, once they hit that post spawn, they're going to be looking to feed once that water starts warming up and they start biting. And from what I hear right now, I don't fish Angostura a heck of a lot. It's a tough lake. It's usually either really good or just painful to fish for me.
So one or the other here, but coming up we're up against a break here shortly, but when we looking at the spawning going on here, we'll talk about that. We'll talk coming up in the next segment, your tournament series and fishing different bodies of water in and around the Black Hills and even over to the eastern side of the state a little bit. I know you could travel over and have a little bit of fun that way, but stay with me. Kevin Vaughn from Wild Walleye Outfitters is my guest here this morning. Questions, comments, make sure to call in if you would like, 888-9-DAKOTA. That's 888-932-5682. You can text me. You can find me on my Facebook feed or YouTube feed, and we'll have more coming up your way after these messages. Hello, cattle producers. Scott Bachmeyer on behalf of Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch. Please join us on April 26, 1 p.m. at the Bowman Livestock Market or online at frontierlivesales.com for an offering of 85 bulls and 65 commercial heifers. You wonder why docility is so important to Frank and Charlene? Well, I think Frank says it best.
We've raised black cattle for over 60 years and worked on disposition since we started. And I think we've made a lot of progress. We're both 85 now and won't win any foot races and don't climb fences like I used to. So aren't going to tolerate a cow with a bad attitude. So docility is a must in our operation.
See what a quality program and docility can do for your herd and your health. Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch, along with guest consignor Spring Angus. April 26, 1 p.m. Mountain Time at the Bowman Livestock Market. Lunch will be served at noon.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, the bank that puts community in its name. We're not just any bank. We're your trusted partner in lending. With a strong commitment to our local communities, we go above and beyond to support and uplift the areas we serve. From providing personalized lending solutions to supporting local businesses and organizations, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where the community is at the heartbeat of everything we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to their next round of sales. Coming up on Tuesday, April 23rd, is the Central Dakota Spring Equipment Auction in Steele, North Dakota. On Thursday, April 25th, is 155 acres in Oliver County, a prime commercial auction in Killdeer on Thursday, April 25th, and on the 30th, 220 acres in Bottineau County. For more information and a bid online, you can go to pifers.com. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where we believe in investing in your business and your community. With our commercial loans, we understand the importance of supporting local businesses to help your business thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where your success is our priority.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. When that time comes, I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Heard all across the Dakota Territory. Good to have you along here and on my live YouTube feed as well here. Scott Bachmeyer with you here, your host. Kevin Vaughn with Wild Walleye Outfitters is my guest at this beautiful Saturday morning as the wind finally settles down here at the ranch. And I'm down to 4 heifers to calve yet. So closer and closer to the end of the heifers anyway. So that's fun.
Yeah. You can almost see that Hawaiian vacation coming up.
Hawaiian. I was just during the break, I was telling you the vacation this year is to come down and go fishing with you. So that's the vacation this year.
Well, that's better than Hawaii any day of the week.
Absolutely. I've been to Hawaii. I've been there. It is okay to visit, but it is liberal, man. Let me tell you.
Oh, really?
Oh, boy. You bet. I did not look the part, and I did not fit in very well in that vicinity. So there you go. And I'm not really big. I mean, everybody wants to see the ocean. I'd rather see a lake with a fishing boat, man. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not a sit on the beach kind of guy.
I hear you.
Anyway, let's talk about your series coming up here this summer. Spring Summer is the first one starting out next week. You already said. Tell us a little bit about the series that you do for Wild Walleye Outfitters, and if maybe there's a spot open yet or two. Who knows?
So yeah, last year we started the series out here in western South Dakota. We fished the 3 biggest reservoirs, Angostura, Orman, and Shade Hill. And so we come back, we're doing year 2. We got bigger trophies this year, some better prizes. So the first event we're putting on is down at Angostura next weekend, and it is called the Casting Vets Cup. The sponsor is the Casting Vets. It's an organization that works through the VA down in Hot Springs to get veterans out on fishing trips year round. And so been working with them, just donating a lot of trips, volunteering a bunch of time to get some of these guys out on the water, going out ice fishing with them. You know, JR and JJ have put together an excellent organization down there. And so they decided to sponsor us for this first event and kind of help spread their message a little bit, and just a great organization. But that starts next Friday at 5. There are still spots available. Today is the last day to get in. So if you do want to get in, give me a call, 605-519-4286, or go on the website, www.wildwalleyeoutfitters.com. Get signed up. And you can sign up for individual tournaments, or you can get into the entire series and then go for Team of the Year, which then May 11th and 12th over Mother's Day, we head up to the Bellefouche Reservoir, Ormond Dam, for Sanders Sanitation. Wesley and the crew, they sponsored that event, and we'll be up there. They say Mother's Day weekend. There's spots open for that tournament as well. We gather points every day for our Team of the Year. And then the third event is June 28th and 9th up at Shade Hill. There's spots open for that tournament as well yet. We'll go up there. We fish that tournament. And then, you know, each event we crown champions. We got some beautiful, beautiful trophies to give away. If you want to see them, you can go on the Facebook page, Wild Walleye Outfitters on Facebook, and there's plenty of pictures of them. The pictures, I promise you, just do not do these things. Chad and the guys, they over at Metal Conceptions, they knocked it out of the park building these trophies. They are absolutely amazing. And the event trophies are one thing, but the Team of the Year trophies, they're just a whole nother set. And so we got all the sponsors, so it's 100% payback. And then also this year, Josh Bible from JB Design Custom Rods up in Pierre has made us a set of rods for each event that are customized with the event name on them for the winners, for the champions of each event and Team of the Year. So we have so many awesome prizes to give away, and said there's spots to get in if anybody still wants in.
That's, it's nice to get when you get sponsors that want to help you out, and especially what you're doing for the veterans. That's nice of you to offer your time and donating that stuff, man. Thanks for helping out those veterans.
Well, it's the least we can do for everything they've given us. We get a chance to ranch and be fishing guides because they went and gave their time up. So
yeah, isn't that the truth? So wildwalleyeoutfitters.com, where you can find them on Facebook as well, and you get in on one of the tournaments. It's kind of nice it's nice when people like you get sponsors that are willing to help out and put on things like this for the community, and it's open. I mean, whether you're out there a weekend warrior or maybe go fishing a couple times a year, it doesn't matter, right? You can still get in on these things.
These are by no stretch of the imagination pro tournaments. Anybody can come get in these tournaments. And I mean, I know a lot of tournaments, everybody thinks tournaments are, everybody's, hush, hush, secret. That's just not the atmosphere at my tournaments. Everybody's joking around, even the new guys, it doesn't take them long to kind of warm up to, I want to say the old guys, but we've only been doing this for 2 years, so there's not really any old guys. There's a few of the guys that have been fishing the Fall Brawl and a couple of my other tournaments, but everybody's nice and friendly and helpful, and I mean, it is really just a great time, and everybody, a bunch of buddies out fishing for the weekend is what it really is, and that's kind of the atmosphere we want. We want it to be a family atmosphere. We want it to be everybody to feel comfortable. It's it's just fishing and getting together for a great time, and that's all it is.
Question comes up here from One Shot Cap. He says, does Kevin have any tips and times for fishing Shade Hill that you could share?
I really wish I did. That's another reservoir that's, it's a 2.5, 3 hour drive for me. And a lot of the times when I'm going past that sign, I'm on my way up to Pollock ice fishing. And I'm not turning there. I've only been there a handful of times, but I know last year we went up fairly early and I did good. Once again, just ledges and using my side imaging to mark fish on them ledges, and then seeing how they react, seeing their bite pattern. Are they really moving fast, or are they kind of slow? If they're kind of slow, I'll put worms down and I'll pull windies through them a mile an hour, and if I'm not getting any bites, I'll slow that pattern down a little bit. And or if it seems like the fish are a little more scattered, and on my outside turns, I'm getting a lot more bites. Sometimes I'll switch over to crankbait and turn the speeds up, and I'll get a lot more bites. A lot of it's just playing the fish that time that you're there, because what works today might not work tomorrow. Is almost certain not to work tomorrow. Might not work 4 hours later.
Right. Yeah. And it changes with the weather and the temperature of the water and everything else too.
Yeah, you get a wind coming out one way, and you start fishing a point, and these fish are stacked up on this point because it's blowing bait fish, and then all of a sudden that wind changes and they blow the bait fish out of there. Them fish ain't just going to hang around. They're gone too, and now that bite's gone.
We're getting up to a break here. A text comes in from my buddy John. He says, an old boy from town says there's 2 times to fish Shade Hill. First time when you have time, and the second when they're biting. That's the tip. Kevin Vaughn from Wild Walleye Outfitters is my guest. We'll have more with him coming up here in the second half of the program, and a couple things from the game and fish departments too. We'll get an update on what's happening there as well. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition continues after this. Hello, cattle producers. Scott Bachmeyer on behalf of Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch. Please join us on April 26, 1 p.m. at the Bowman Livestock Market or online at frontierlivesales.com for an offering of 85 bulls and 65 commercial heifers. You wonder why docility is so important to Frank and Charlene? Well, I think Frank says it best.
We've raised black cattle for over 60 years and worked on disposition since we started. And I think we've made a lot of progress. We're both 85 now and won't win any foot races and don't climb fences like I used to. So aren't going to tolerate a cow with a bad attitude. So docility is a must in our operation.
See what a quality program and docility can do for your herd and your health. Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch, along with guest consignor Spring Angus. April 26, 1 p.m. Mountain Time at the Bowman Livestock Market. Lunch will be served at noon.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, the bank that puts community in its name. We're not just any bank. We're your trusted partner in lending. With a strong commitment to our local communities, we go above and beyond to support and uplift the areas we serve. From providing personalized lending solutions to supporting local businesses and organizations, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where the community is at the heartbeat of everything we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to their next round of sales. Coming up on Tuesday, April 23rd, is the Central Dakota Spring Equipment Auction in Steele, North Dakota. On Thursday, April 25th, is 155 acres in Oliver County, a prime commercial auction in Killdeer on Thursday, April 25th, and on the 30th, 220 acres in Bottineau County. For more information and a bid online, you can go to pifers.com. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where we believe in investing in your business and your community. With our commercial loans, we understand the importance of supporting local businesses to help your business thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where your success is our priority.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
On that road, don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Second half of Dakota Prairie Outdoors here on a Saturday morning. Good to be along with you. Live and local, as we call it here. Kevin Vaughn with Wild Walleye Outfitters is my guest this morning. And a few people having some text messages coming in saying, what is happening right now? What are you seeing right now on the water for walleye? What's happening right now, Kevin?
I mean, it just depends on what body of water you're on. I can't really say much for the river. It's been about 2.5, 3 weeks since I've been up there. I think first part of the month I snuck back up and peered, but the fish were still stacked up around the mouth of Stillen Basin. We were catching them. The fish on Ormond, they have begun to spawn. It's hard to judge right where it's at. Heard reports of, as of last week, and they've been getting a few off the dam there, milking. Angostura, I'm hearing, is still a pretty tough bite. The fish just really haven't turned on much down there yet. Starting to change a little bit, and once we get these warmer temps, them fish are real close down there to going too. So it's a lot of either, right at the beginning of spawn on some lakes where they're just getting ready to take off, and some lakes are just kind of wrapping up, middle to wrapping up-ish. Shade Hill, I haven't heard much of a report on up there, but down here, that's kind of what the situation is.
Yeah. Well, if you would have one device that you use on your boats right now to do any type of fishing, electronic wise, what would be the one thing you couldn't live without anymore?
Oh,
Because I hear everybody say that comes down to a lot of it is side imaging. And I'm just curious,
Yeah,
what would you say is the one thing you couldn't live without?
I mean, yeah, it's
It's tough to pick one or what?
yeah. Well, it's right there between that side imaging and kind of that live scope.
So let's talk about the live scope. What do you like about it the most?
Just the fact of the learning curve, the presentation. It takes a lot of guesswork out of the presentation, especially when you're pulling crankbaits and Lindy rigs. Even drift and jig heads. I'm a big troller. I'm not one of these guys that's out there live scoping snap jigs or pitching at direct fish. I'm a troller with live scope. So and my fishing partner is one of them guys that he is one of them guys that chase fish down with the live scope. So we're both, I guess, utilizing live scope, but very differently, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's being able to kind of see my baits and my presentations and watching the fish react to them and knowing, okay, my baits are too high in the water column today. They're just not coming up and eating them, drop them down. Or I'm fishing under all these fish right now. I should have my baits higher up in the water column, as to seeing what these fish are actually doing. Or, even as far as seeing, okay, I'm seeing marks and I'm not getting any bites. Well, why am I not getting these bites? Okay, these fish are coming up. They're looking at my bait and leaving. So why are they leaving? What do I need to change? So let me start something simple. I've got their attention. They're coming and looking at me. But my meat on my hook, what am I using there? Let's try changing that first. One simple strategy, because they're coming and looking, but they're not eating.
Right.
So that allows me the ability to see all of that without going and guessing, are they even coming up and looking at my blade? Are they even coming up and sniffing my bait? And that just eliminates hours of questions in a matter of minutes.
Right. So that
and then you can start to hone in. You start to hone in on that bite. Is it okay? I'm going to switch, I'm using night crawlers and they're coming up and not liking that night crawler. So I'm going to take that night crawler and I'm going to switch to a leech. Okay. Same thing with the leech, not hitting it. Okay. Minnow not hitting it. Okay. I'm going to go back to half a night crawler. Okay. I'm going to go back to, we'll go, and then you just start sorting through until you get a peck. Okay. Is it a certain color they're wanting on that bait, and then you really start to hone in until you're okay. This is what they're hitting on and this is what they're eating right now. And then put out your rods.
Interesting. And you do a little bit of crankbait, right? I mean, you start pulling those after a while. And what do you kind of use for that presentation?
It just depends on kind of the time of year once again, but I fish all my crankbaits with lead core and fluorocarbon leaders, just depending size and depth on where the fish are during the time of year. But that's kind of how I run my setups. I love that lead core. I know a lot of guys like the snap weights and stuff like that, but I've gotten accustomed to the lead core and a method, I guess, kind of figured out that knowing about how deep my baits are running on how many colors I have out and that kind of stuff without the dipsy divers and the extra weights and all that. So
a question comes up on the YouTube side. It says, do the lakes Kevin fishes also have trout in them? What all does the three lakes that you guys are fishing for this tournament series? What are you finding out there?
So mostly the answer to that question is no, mostly. I say that mostly because there are actually rainbow trout in Ormond on the Belfouche Reservoir there. I have caught them out of there before. I've been told they release them just kind of as small fish up there as feeder fish, and some of them do grow up to size, and we have actually caught them pulling Lindy rigs up there. So to that, yes, you can catch rainbow trout out of Ormond. Does it happen often? I've only ever seen it once. So mostly, you know, Angostura, you're catching perch, crappie, bluegill, walleye, catfish, white bass, smallmouth bass. I'm trying to think just, you know, northerns, drum, and I'm sure I'm missing a couple. And it's going to be basically that way through most of your lakes. Ormond, you're going to catch mostly walleye up there. There's, you know, white bass, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, perch, crappie. There are muskie, catfish, carp, and the same up at Shade Hill. Just kind of your pretty basic, what you would consider in a lake fish, perch, crappie, bluegill. A small variety of a little bit of everything, I guess.
Another message comes in from the mayor, says, do you ever catch burba? And do you eat them as well?
I have never caught a burbot. Burbot. I have never caught one.
I haven't heard of it.
It's also called eel pout, but
okay.
Yeah, they're really good. They call them the poor man's lobster. You boil them and it's 7-Up, I guess, and they're supposed to be really good. But I've never had the chance to try it. We caught one out in Minnesota a couple of years ago when we went to the Lake of the Woods, but my buddy caught it and took it home and cleaned it, so I never got to try it.
Yeah. What do they resemble? What do they look like?
Oh, ugly. Kind of like a catfish with an eel tail.
Okay. All right. I'll have to
I
look
guess
that up.
is one way to explain it. Yeah, they're ugly. And when you first pull them out of the hole, you're wondering what kind of planet you just come from.
How about paddlefish snagging here? Season is opening up both North and South Dakota. We're going to be having some paddlefish snagging coming around the corner. And you said you're helping somebody, or you went in for a tag. How did that work out?
Yeah, I applied for my first tag ever this year for paddle fishing, and I didn't get the tag, but I got my preference points. So a couple more years, and then I got a buddy that from back home over there. We'll go down on the mouth of the White River and try and snag a couple.
Those prehistoric looking things, aren't they?
Yeah, they're crazy, and I'll tell you what, when you see them on the live scope, it's absolutely insane. When we were up fishing the Pollock area this winter, we'd get some coming by, and I mean, just insane. This is about the only good word I've got for it. It is when you first see them come by, and you're like, "Oh my God, what is that?" And then you're looking at them, and it's like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Another message comes in. Jim says, do you ever do crappie trips, or do you just mainly focus on walleye?
I mainly guide on walleye. I fish crappie myself in the wintertime. My wife actually hates fishing for walleye because it's so boring and they're such a princess fish.
A princess
we do
fish?
go chase them.
Explain that. Wait a minute. What's a princess fish?
Because if you don't have everything exactly right for them, you know, you might have the same teardrop and the same size and the same minnow head and everything, but yours is teal and mine is light blue. They might bite mine, but not yours.
Oh, I see.
So they're princess fish. Everything has to just be a little perfect for them, she says.
I see. And crappie, you can pretty much throw anything down there and grab it, huh?
Yeah, crappie and bluegill, she can cuss that all day for missing them. I think that's half the enjoyment she gets out of it, is just missing them and cussing at the hole.
Well, at least she likes fishing. That's nice. Right?
Yeah, she does. And we have a real good time going out. Yeah, we get one time in the winter where we go out together. We spend about a week up on the river in the shack and just have a blast.
Yeah. A couple other very quickly, sorry to go off base here, but The mountain lion season in South Dakota Black Hills is closing up here in 10 days. And out of the 60 total that can be taken, 44 have been taken right now. And let's see here. The breakdown, 28 females and 16 males. So they're getting up there as a little bit more successful of a season hunting. And do you see any of this going on? I mean, you're out that in the Black Hills area all the time. What are you seeing? Do you ever get a chance to see one cross the road or what?
You know, I don't really ever. When it's getting so developed around them roads and stuff, you just don't see much of anything there anymore. The houses going up in the hills, especially along any of your paved highways, or just, I mean, they're almost packed as tighter than town is. So
yeah,
everything's kind of getting pushed out a little further into the trees, and you know, it's just the price of progress, I guess.
That's why your price. That's, you know, and you must enjoy it because your value of your house keeps going up, and you get to pay more property tax then too.
Oh, of course. Why not? That way somebody else can have an extra vacation home.
There you go. There you go. Well, do you head over to the Missouri River? Do you have any of the big, long, skinny lakes over there coming through South Dakota? Have you been over there this winter or anything, doing any winter side of fishing on the big muddy?
Like you say, we did go up, fished pollock for a week. Other than that, I didn't really make it out east much this winter to do much fishing. We ended up going and spending more time over west in Wyoming at Keyhole and doing quite a bit of fishing over there. Fished a tournament over there, did okay on that one, and you know, just kind of hung out over there and fished this winter, I guess, instead of over at the river.
So when somebody comes down as or over or up or wherever, if you're taking somebody out fishing and they resident or non-resident, do you help them get their fishing license, or do you recommend them just going online and getting that done ahead of time?
I recommend them going online and doing that ahead of time. And there's actually, if you go on my website, there is a link that takes you right there, and you just, you know, you hit that link, it takes you right where you need to be, and you just fill out that information and, you know, click submit or pay or whatever. And it's about that quick and easy. That way they don't have to go look for it, or, you know, go find what store is going to be open and do it for you anymore. Because
the digital age, Kevin, has become easier to have things around, huh?
Well, and you know, and I'm old enough to remember before it, but the other day I was talking to somebody, and they're like, well, how do you get this camping spot? I said, well, the same way you get your license. And he goes, what? Go to Runnings and buy it? And I looked at him like he was, what are you talking about? And he's like, I went to Runnings and bought my license. And I said, I didn't even know you could do that. I thought you had to do it online all the time anymore. I didn't realize, you know, you could still even hardly go to the store and buy them, because it's all, you got to fill it out on your phone and have it and whatever. And all your rentals are online. So if you want to rent a spot at a state campground, you have to have that app, and it's all just done right there. And I guess I didn't even realize that, you know, I don't know why, but it just kind of was like, what do you mean you bought it from a store? That don't make no sense.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, you got to remember there's still a lot of people that don't have these smartphones or a computer for that matter. So it's nice that you can still go to those stores and they'll help fill out the paperwork for you. And I think they do it. They do it online. You know, I mean, they're just doing it online in the store, but I appreciate all the stores that still do that and help people get that.
Yeah,
because it's nice.
Yeah, because that website's not always the easiest to work with. And like you say, you know, I finally got a house computer in my house this year, and I got it for two reasons. Because one, Mikey's getting tired of updating my graphs for me all the time because I don't have a computer. And two, you know, anything I want to type out for the series or anything like that, I've got to have somebody else do it for me, or try and talk my wife into doing it on her phone.
Right.
And it just, it's a pain in the butt. So I got this computer, and of course, you know, I wasn't going to go buy a new one because, well, I'm going to use it twice a year. Turns out I bought a computer. Well, it don't have the, I don't know what they're called, the certain type of drives I need to plug in and download the stuff from Hummingbird on the card to plug in and do my. So Mikey still got to help me do my fish finder update.
That's what you get for trying to save some pennies, man. Spend the money. Spend the money. Well, if people want more information, how do they find you down there in that Sturgis area?
You know, you can just hit the Google button and look for Wild Walleye Outfitters. The website will pull up. Facebook, we're all over Facebook. WildWalleyeOutfitters.com is the website. My phone number is 1-605-519-4286. And yeah, you know, shoot me a message, give me a call. If I don't answer, leave me a message. I'm usually talking fishing with somebody, but I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I try not to miss out on too many chances to BS about fishing with people. So,
well, the nice thing about it is they have questions. They're going to Ormond. They have their own boat and everything. You know, you're willing to share some information, maybe some points that they might want to go try. And that's what's nice about it. You know, it's not like you try and keep it secret. Like some folks are very tight-lipped about sharing any information, and it's nice to have people that are willing to help you out, especially if it's your first trip there.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's, you know, it's no, like I say, big secret, just, you know, giving people pointers and a spot to point them in the right direction. You know, everybody's out there for the same purpose. Everybody just wants to catch a couple fish, and, you know, nobody wants to be that guy that comes in and got skunked all day. So, you know, if I can make somebody's day and get them a couple hook sets out there, why not? I mean, it's not like there's any shortage of fish.
Here's a word from Jim on the YouTube. He says, Kevin, buy the equipment. No sense being the richest guy in the cemetery. So there you go.
Exactly.
Kevin Vaughn, Wild Walleye Outfitters. Thanks for tuning in today on another Saturday. Eat some meat, drink some milk, and wear fur and wool. Have yourself a good day. All right, Kevin, hopefully we're clear from the stations at this point here. So thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. No, that was a good one.
No reason being the richest guy in the cemetery. Fucking love it. I love it. I am so going to use that one all over the place.
Yeah, I'm going to use that one with my wife. She's going to tell me you ain't going to be the richest guy in the cemetery because I'm going to kill you and take it all. I could see this one backfiring on me.
Josh says, off of the fishing topic, but out of curiosity, what is your elk cartridge going to be this year, Scott? I'm probably going to use my 28 nozzler is what I'm going to be setting up. Alan says, Kevin will be sleeping on the couch if you use that term with your wife. Well, make sure to go buy a fancy couch too.
Shoot, I'll be lucky to be sleeping. The only way I'll be sleeping on the couch is if she makes me throw it in the yard first. I'll be lucky to get the chicken coop.
Oh, that's good stuff. Sleeping on the couch. Well, my friend, I appreciate you having a little fun with me this morning. I'm going to go and I got to go take some calves and get some things moved around and kind of take care of a few things.
I've got to go clean up the boat a little bit, and then I think while the wind's blowing this afternoon, I'm going to go cut a deck off a house and throw it in the dumpster.
Hey, there's another thing I need to talk to you about, too. I need to get in touch with you one of these days and have you look at a project down at our place in Lead.
Okay, yep.
Get some quotes from you.
Yeah, not a problem. We should, we'll just get together and kind of take care of it all when you get a chance to come down.
Yeah, absolutely. You bet. Absolutely. All right, man. You have yourself a good one.
You too. Always a pleasure, Scott.
All right. You bet. Have a good one. See you, Kevin. All right, stations and tubers. Yeah, I'd be sleeping in the barn. My wife already knows I'm not going to be the richest one in the cemetery. Trust me on this. Trust me. There's no reason to think any otherwise. But hey, YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a good day. And catch you next Saturday. See ya.